Hey guys, hey Peter, hey Mark, hey Stuart. What's happening? I've had one of those weeks. It's not terrible, but I've had it. And it's only Wednesday. Didn't get much done on the weekend here in the shop at all. Spent most of it driving around. I did a little bit on the way back, or a little bit on the way home, or when I got home. A little bit Tuesday. Went and saw a mate who's got a rotary phase converter that he's bought that he's having trouble with. Marsh, g'day. Good to see you. So I did that. We put up a little bit more on the shed on Sunday, which was a good effort. I didn't get down there till Saturday afternoon that late, and that's a real pain, but we're actually actively trying to get that sorted. Hey, Frank. Hey, David. Anyway, while we're here, bookmark Marsh Wildman's YouTube channel. Wildman Tech. Awesome maker channel. Lots of cool stuff. In California, in Northern California, in Sacramento, actually, which is a nice town. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Probably. So we got down there Saturday night, and we ended up Sunday. I've got a serious suntan, bit brown. It's probably a bit much, but we ended up putting purlins and top hat section on top of that, and door frames and things like that, and getting the shed somewhere near ready for another weekend when we can actually put some tin on it. It's sort of starting to get close. Starting to look more like a shed. It's not locked up yet. There's still a few bits missing, like the end walls, and there's no C-section around any of the sides that we can bolt the tin on, or screw the tin on. But at this point, probably if we wanted to do that next, we could put the roof on, but probably we won't. Anyway, I'm fairly happy with progress. I think I would have liked to have got another day in, and we might have got a bit more done, but I didn't. So that's the weekend. Come back Monday, stopped in at Byron Bay because I wanted to check out a new pair of shoes and couldn't find the guys that make the shoes. So that was a waste of time and money and $5 an hour parking and all that stuff that nobody needs. Byron's a bit touristy and a bit busy and a bit of a shopping destination nowadays. So give that one a miss next time. Took the concrete tub down and unloaded that. What else did we do? I don't know. Slept on the sofa the first night. Hey, Fridge. Hi, David. And the second night I was that sunburnt and exposure and tired that I was no way I was going to sleep on the sofa. So I lasted till about past 11, 12 o'clock, and then I went and crashed in the van and slept like a log after that. Mattress is much better. Curled up on a futon on the sofa is not much fun, really. You weren't drunk at all, Dan. We had a pretty sober weekend. We got a bit done. I think Saturday the 16th, which is not this next Saturday, but the one after, I think we're going to have another day on the shed, and we're probably going to have a steam up. So anyone who's listening to this, Saturday night, come out, drop us a note, turn up, and we'll, if you're local, Grafton, Northern Rivers. Turn up. Yeah, I should have opened it up, but anyway, it's too late. Mattress in the car is nice. Hey, Kevin. So that's happening, but gosh, anyway, I come home. Called at a mate's place, a friend's place, and she gave me some tools, which we haven't really got enough tools in our life. I haven't really had a close look, but there's this box, which is I was thinking it was a cigar box, but it's a California chocolates box. And that's the perfect gift. Exclusive retail shops. 74 King Street, Castlereagh Street, Pitt Street, King Street. Sydney, I guess. Made in Australia. Californian chocolates. Made in Australia. With trees that may or may not come from California. I'm pretty sure they don't. Nice box though. Probably a repurposed cigar box that someone in, I don't know, put chocolates in cigar box, I don't know. You have enough tools in your life? Yeah, I'm just feeling that way today. 3/6" Whitworth tap and die set. And 1/4" Whitworth tap and die set in probably APC tablet jar, something like that, from the back in the day. This one's a meat paste jar, we know what that is. O'Brien's even. 8 Whitworth taps and die set. It's pretty nice to have. 40 TPI. And there's a tap wrench. Hey Nigel. Another good video from Nigel, you should check that out. Things are advancing. It's looking good. And there's a inch tap wrench, which is probably not a reasonable quality one for a die cast one. There's a few miserable NF and Whitworth, I guess. 7/16 NF, 1/2 inch National Fine. 3/8 National Fine. 5/16 1/4 National Fine. There we go. There's some Whitworth button die nuts, 1/2 inch. 3/8 and 5/16 button die nuts. This one's, I've just bought a new one of them, which is there. And actually got some work, but still, that's not a bad tool, but it's not a button die. I've still got to look for one of them. And there's some taps, anyway. They look like they're probably Whitworth taps. A bit of wire around them. And the others are probably National Fine, I'm guessing. Yeah, 1/2 inch National Fine. So, good little box of tools. They all look in reasonable condition. I guess time will tell. But they're worth having. They're pretty nice. In a chocolate box, which is nice too. I might do this up and move it on if there's any such chance, because this is pretty rough, to be honest. It's in this box. It's got a scriber, it's a scribe block. No idea what brand it is. I don't know if there's anything written on it. It is a bit of a mess. I might get Joe to do a grind job on it and keep it. It's actually got a trademark on the end, but it's almost impossible to read. It's an Eclipse. So it's a bit rough, but it might clean up nice. And there's a rod for it with the ball to keep the needle. And there's could be the original scribe for it. and a very rough ball or dial gauge, which actually works. But that might need some TLC if we're still in the mood after we finish bills. Bit rough. Don't know, we'll see how that cleans up. Might not be worth the trouble. Might be. Might clean up nice and I'll keep it. I don't know. This one is got a tin, the Concise Home Doctor. First aid box of some sort. Been a nice box. It's had a gold lettering, gold stripe around it in dark green. Very cool. Inside is a very bent micrometer. I think that's all that's in it. I didn't look any further. But yeah, we've got a more and right 2 to 3 inch micrometer. It's a bit rough. It's got a funny squeak. And it's missing the friction thimble. And the nails are pretty rough. Still got the clip on it. It might tidy up. We'll see. Might be spare parts micrometer. Anyway, so picked them up on Monday afternoon. I'm not sure we've gained anything there. Maybe we have. Some taps and dies are very nice. And we'll see how the rest turns out when we get to it. So that's something. And then Bill sent this. I guess we saw this, did we? This is the head off the Cache hardness testing machine. And it had a plastic plastic cover on here with a dial, and see that dial indicator goes in that hole and clamps together somehow. I think it's got 2 screws in the back to clamp it in place. And then this comes off. I think it lifts off this way or something. Maybe it slides off here. No. Anyway, I did have it in parts. Bill had it in parts. So I printed the first, I sort of drew this up, and this is a fairly difficult thing to draw up because it's got to have a round window in it, and it's got some funny shapes here. They're not just standard curves in this bit, and then this bit here too has got slope in here, and this is curved. So there's sort of spline curves around here, and then it's got a gap in here for the wheel on the. So I drew this up, and because I thought it wasn't anywhere near close, like honestly I was pretty sure it wasn't anywhere near close, I printed one out, and we'll just tweak it a bit and recheck our measurements. It's not quite wide at the top, and it's probably a fraction too tall. The window might not be exactly in the right spot, and the 2 grooves that fit over these pieces certainly aren't in the right spot. I've got a feeling that that's not even close to aligned. So it's a matter of redrawing that and just adjusting it and printing another one and seeing if we can get a bit closer by next week. But getting this shape here was a bit of a challenge, and now we've got it. All we've got to do is adjust the measurements. And probably we will make a ring to fit inside there and put it in with a bit of filler, and then we might get this cast if it's got a bit more body in it than it has at the moment, and it's right. Cast in aluminium and polish it up, give it a coat of paint, and then if we've got a nice round ring in there with a recess, we might put a glass in it and bezel over the top, something like that. And some lettering on here that says Bandicoot brand or Testy Tester or something, for Bill especially. But I think we're well on the way there. This is starting to look like it might actually work. There's no support or anything in this. I just printed it out quick to see how close we are, and I might print 2 or 3 before we get one that fits and one that's suitable to be cast. Anyway, that's what we've done. So that was a little bit of time on Tuesday. I think you've got to undo that screw to take this piece off. Put this back together so I didn't lose anything, but that's got what looks to be probably a UNF screw, and then this just slides off here. It's got the diamond piece on there, and then this must be spring loaded, I guess, like a the diamond. You see that diamond link in there? See that? This must be spring loaded, so it gives a set impact, something like that. And then the gauge measures the distance it's gone in, something like that. Hey, Kimber's Alec. So, not sure how it all works yet, but it's a nicely made thing, and it's worth getting right and making something nice for, I think. Worth messing around with. But this is nowhere near the finished piece, I think. We'll get onto that in the next week or so and get that right and get it back to him. Didn't mess with the indicator too much. I should have pulled it back together properly. It's all together. It just needs a little bit of adjustment, and I need to sit down and do that. And this last weekend wasn't it. Sorry, Bill. Good to see you there anyway. Anyway, if I push this off the side here, it's going to make a big rattle. So let's adjust this to the front, push this back here. Anyway, this is fixable, and it's going to be a nice job, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I really like doing this sort of work. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I do enjoy it. Delivered a knife down to Dan from Bill. Pretty nice, but yeah, I didn't get a picture of it even. I didn't open it before I took it down there, and it is pretty nice. I think there's a picture on Discord, but he does make some nice things. I sort of made a bit of a start on this. Like this is very primitive, and it's a start, which is the back of the box. I've got thoughts on this, and it won't be black and white. I've got some serious thoughts about this and where it's going to go and what it's going to do. Self-portrait happening here. Probably going to take my safety sign artwork out of the old book and convert it a bit and do something similar to that. I have that come back this way a bit towards the nose, and yeah, it's actually giving you a bit of a distorted look there. If we go this way around, the legs look crazy long, but if we go this way, then the legs look short. Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. So that's what we're working on at the moment. That's what's going to happen. These patterns have been made. They haven't got any French chalk to transfer it across, so that didn't happen. But it will at some point. And probably white overalls and a grey top or a yellow top or something like that. And one for the Land Rovers here, but we haven't got the pattern done yet. There's no actual improvement on what I've done. I haven't actually drawn it out. I did get some proper brown paper for patterns, so I've pounced this. You can see through this probably. Yeah, there you go, you can see that. So that'll transfer pretty nice. I think should be able to get something out of that. And I'll make similar patterns for the Land Rover. You get that rubber off the doors, Fridge, and we'll come and do it. I'll fix the Bedford at some point when that happens, before that happens. Anyway, no point doing it until you got the doors fixed either. Didn't get up to the foundry on Tuesday like I thought we might to pick up the bits for this piece and the little piece that goes on top. So that's something that didn't happen. I did stop. There's a product that I was looking for called Rustbuster or something like that, which is supposed to be very good in a spray for Gentleman Randy. Good day. For breaking up rusted components. John's drunk. You are up late, John. Anyway, got this. This is picked this up on the way home too. So I might spray some of this in that cylinder and see if we can make it completely stuffed. John's our standing rotary phase converter expert, so if you've got any questions about those, don't be afraid to address them to him. I don't know anything. So that's something that didn't happen yet, along with a huge list of other things that also didn't happen yet. I haven't looked at this yet. I've got some ideas. I've drawn some stuff out. That's about it. I seem to spend more time in CAD sometimes than others. And I think I've got some sort of an idea. We might print some bits up and see if we can make something that looks like it's going to work. Might not. Don't know if there's much else to cover. I really feel like I haven't done much this weekend. And I filled you in on all the gaps, but I haven't really actually... There's nothing to show you, nothing to talk about, because I haven't done much. I've been to Shenandoah and back via a few different places. And had a bit of a discussion today about the future of my employment at work and we'll leave that well enough alone for now. But yeah, there's some conjecture about it from my point of view. I probably need to eat. I probably need food in the house, but I don't know if there is much. I'm sorry about that. I haven't had anything. I had sliced toast when I got home. That was about it. I'm not particularly hungry, but something says I am. Yeah, absolutely. If I do that. Anyway, on the other side, I've dropped 2 pant sizes, so I'm pretty impressed about that. There we go. So there's 2 sides to that argument. The other really crappy side to that particular argument is that if I'm doing anything like working on a shed, my pants keep falling down. But anyway, we'll soon get them all upgraded, I guess. What else is on YouTube? If we're going to go there, because I can't stop this noise. I'm sort of hungry. I'll go and get something in a minute. What did I say? There was a new clickspring video that's been on Patreon before, a while back. I believe he's dragging that out a bit. I don't know. I watched some pretty eclectic stuff that no one else is particularly interested in, probably. As far as jobs in progress that I really need to get onto this weekend while I'm home, I'd like to get those studs done. I'd really like to get those little lids finished. I probably should get in and do them one night this week. It wouldn't take much. Not a big job to sort them out. Probably should paint that little delivery van, goods van over there. Yes, there's the next part of the best dive hider. That was a really good video, as always. Now you've pointed out that tummy rumble, I can't stop. Sorry, people. That's not good. Can't stop at all. Shouldn't have thought about it. I'm enjoying the dive hider video too. It's pretty good series. Put this piece of paper over here so it doesn't fall off down the back and I can't find it next week. Also need to do something with these. There's a couple of jobs that are becoming more pressing. I want these done before Glen Ray, and I'm giving them some thought at the moment. So we'll get that sorted at some point. And the elephant in the room is the generator, because we found out the guy who usually brings a generator isn't going to turn up to Glen Ray Timber Festival. So, which is jolly inconsiderate, really. Not impressed. I hope you told him that, Fridge. I have the brushes here. I will make a concerted effort in the next week to get them done. That's on the list of things to do this week. And this job, if I get back that job, which is those little brass tops, and the brushes out and down to your place, then you can hound someone else about both those jobs. Which suits me great. I'm down for that. So that's a matter of getting that done, and it's not a big job. Either none of those are big jobs, really. It's not a huge job on any level. So it's just a matter of spending a couple of hours on the mill, getting them sorted, I think. Yeah, that's a bit ordinary. Poor Ross. But anyway, we'll miss him because he's got some beautiful gear. But we'll find someone to fill the shoes, I guess. And we definitely need a generator because we've already committed that. So I'm guessing we're getting ours going, which is only a little one. How do you put all the holes in the paper? Very good question. You use a pounce wheel. Do I have a pounce wheel here? It's a traditional call called a pounce wheel, which is a little wheel with a lot of little needles on it. I've got several different ones. Some of them work better than others. A bigger diameter one's better than a smaller diameter one. It's got a handle and a little thumb rest so you can push your thumb on it. And you put it on a bit of thick cardboard or a bit of polystyrene or a bit of felt is probably best. And run over it. And then when you're through, you sand all the back off. So that opens the holes up nicely. So that's how you do that. And then you get a sock, old sock full of French chalk or cornflour or whatever, soot or lampblack or charcoal or whatever colour you want, and pat it through the holes and it'll leave a pattern. I had a bit of a mess with this yesterday, very limited mess, but you can see sort of how it looks. I'll probably clean this off and do it again because it's not a real good job, but that gives you a pattern, something like that. That's not really showing a lot of contrast. But there's probably nearly enough there to do it. But I just go over that in white and block it out and then put some colour on it. It's not a big job, this one either, and if I spent 2 hours on it, it'd make a huge difference to it. But it's just a matter of finding the 2 hours. Is how I am. And this last weekend, because of stuff that's going down at work and stuff, it's sort of nice. Just to get a bit of downtime too was really nice. Don't know. So, yeah, this paper's good because you can sand the back off it nicely and just leave a round flat hole that transfers beautifully. Occasionally you get a tear out like that from the sandpaper, but we live with that. It's not going to matter too much. It doesn't give you a whole lot of, see there on the end there, it's not really a big deal. You can hardly see that. But I'll probably, if I went over that nicely with, probably looking at this under this light, if I just went over this with a pencil, I'd probably get it pretty close. But I might do it properly. Find some decent chalk. I never ever got any, and I think we ended up with some, and it ended up on the tool trolley at Fridges, and I should have collected it on my way back and pinched it for a bit, but I never. So we're backward on this one. But I've got a fairly nice finish on this, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this should paint up really nice. I'm not going to put any gold leaf on it or not anything. I'm going to do this in yellow with like a red gradient on the top and probably a black outline around it, and do this through here in probably white or something like that. Not sure about that yet. And this one will be full colour with gradients and everything. I think that'll be fun. And that takes up most of this space here. Should be cool. My van artwork's going to be an enlarged version of this if it turns out okay. So there we go. But yeah, a bit more fancy than just ordinary white letters. And then we've got front and back and sides and top and everything to do. We've got reflection on there, so pretty good finish on all of it, I think. Pretty happy with that. It's just a matter of doing it. And this weekend and the next weekend is sort of going to be out. This weekend I'm going to try and get, like I said, I'm going to try and get those finished. It's not a big job to finish them. It's just a really messy job because it's brass and it puts chips everywhere and I hate it. Brushes too have got to be cut down. No, but I've heard various thoughts about how to do that, so we're going to get that sorted. And yeah, so that's my weekend for next weekend already sorted out, and probably a couple of nights this week. Probably a couple of nights I'm going to spend on Bill's hardness tester, getting that drawn up so that I can print another pattern and see how it looks. And then if I do go up to the foundry to pick up these bits, which have already been done for me, I believe, then maybe I could have some sort of pattern to cast one and have an actual aluminium copy that is going to be very nice. We can put a bit of filler on, a bit of grey paint or a bit of green paint or a bit of blue paint or a bit of yellow paint, red paint or whatever, and get it all screwed on and look nice. I don't think there's much work in that. Anyway, what's everyone else up to? Peter, I've still got your watch box. I forgot to give it back to him. If he hasn't sent the thing together, I might try and run it up to him at some point, because I found it here the other day. Giving up the tablet holder is a bad joke. I think that's a waste of time. That wasn't the sound of the scooter scooting past. Fab has the skin. Would you worry about shrinkage? It's about 5%, which is 5 millimeters in the inch of thickness. Now this thing's pretty thin, and it's only about 2 inches, 5 millimeters in 100 mil thickness. It's only about 40 mil wide, 50 mil wide, and it's pretty thin. I reckon shrinkage will be probably two, 3 coats of paint. So I'm not all that concerned about it. It will be oversized, and it's very simple to 3D print a pattern that's oversized, because you just change the percentage up by whatever percentage you need and it prints it. Mark's starting to move stuff out of the container in the shed. That's awesome. The shed looks good. I'm glad you got it all finished. I missed you live on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was, because I was actually down at Dan's putting our shed together. But that's pretty exciting. Nice to have a shed. We've got a shed, but I'm not sure it's going to be big enough. Sorry, fridge. I don't think he goes that fast. He's actually talking about, I don't know. He's also talking about buying a one of these electric unicycles, which are pretty awesome. If you want to Google electric unicycle, they're pretty awesome bit of gear, but it's not something that I think I'm ever going to face up to getting on and riding. Anyway, Fab's my work colleague. Shed's never big enough. There's 1,000 things. I've got a nice box. That didn't come out as well as it could, but I've got a wooden, I think it's a cinema. Peter would appreciate that. No one else will. But that too, yeah. And Joe's probably watching because I'd laugh from the other room. Peter's anyway, I've got a box that's wooden with riveted seams and proper hinges and doors and handle and stuff. It's a bit knocked about, but it's a cinema film transport container, I think. It may not be, because it's not really the right dimensions. But when I bought it, it had a pacemaker camera in it, which I've since moved on and didn't move the box on because the box was a bit rough. But if we got into it and sanded it down and cleaned it up, I think it would make a very good box for putting these lamps in. The 3 of these with a division between them, I think it's just the right size for that. 1, 2, 3 in the tail. This 2 in the tail. John's out of beer. So that's what's going to happen, and they're all locked away carefully and nicely in a container that we can move around easy and isn't going to get water in it or anything. So that's the thought process behind that one. It's about the size of this, I guess. It's a bit heavier, and the lid lifts up on top, so there's probably room for, I think there's room for 3 lamps. I haven't actually tried that, but there could be. I guess if there's not, we can make something. So that's another project because we needed one, and the projects are getting a bit thin. Why don't I just pick easy one-day projects? Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not sure why. It's a mystery. And probably room in it for the battery charger and stuff for all this stuff. Anyway, that's what's happening here. I don't know if there's much else to sort of discuss or talk about. Really appreciate all you guys tuning in and making an effort to make it, because it makes my week a little bit bearable. It's very good. Don't buy a Land Rover. Don't, whatever you do, buy one of those Harley Davidson step-through scooters from the 1960s with the belt drive variable slip clutch thing, because, and the 2-stroke motor that's horizontal. I don't think that's a very good idea at all. I think that's a very bad idea. Anyone who thought they were going to buy one of those, I know that's random, but it's pointed at someone. Don't. Don't buy a Land Rover. Don't buy a second Land Rover. I think that's a very good way to look at that. And look, there's a very nice AEC Matador. It's a Mammoth. AEC Mammoth Major in Grafton. Except it's not. It's AEC Mammoth Major flat tray truck with the cab missing. It's probably been a bust, to be honest, I think. It's got a 6-cylinder AEC engine in it, which would be the same as all the buses it got. There's not a lot of bodywork on it. Like, there's no bodywork. It's got the firewall and a radiator panel and tunnel over the engine. It's a cab over, well, it's sort of cab over. It's a lift the engine out through the front sort of a job. And the guy wants $1,500 for it. That's a very good example of things not to buy. That's something that nobody should buy, because that's a lifetime project, and I'm not going to have enough lifetimes for that one, and I don't know anyone else who does either. But it's a dream truck. Really, it'd be an amazing machine. if it was done properly. And there's a lot of woodwork and there's a lot of metal work and there's a lot of stretching and rolling and stuff to make a nice cab for it. And there's a crap load of dollars to be put into suspension and brakes and wheels and tyres and engine and gearbox and diff bearings and axle bearings and a tray and tarps and paintwork and stuff like that. It costs you 15 grand to paint it. But anyway, that's dribbling because I've got no intention of buying that one. Just in case anyone was wondering. But it's there if someone wants it. Very cheaply. I don't think it goes. You probably need a truck to pull it out. Dan fell off the Posty Bike. The thing about the step-through Honda or step-through bike of any sort, the biggest issue with it is that there's not a lot of control on a gravel road. I've had a very little bit of experience on them, and I know this, that because your knees don't do any of the controlling at speed, at slow speed you end up wobbling, and at high speed you end up wobbling. So, and they flex a bit. So you do fall off them. Even experienced riders fall off them. Especially around the paddock. They're not a paddock basher at all. Lifetime project is better than lifetime watching TV. That's very true. I'm down with that. Week projects or 10-day projects that you can actually get finished at a reasonable rate is the way to success. Just in case anyone was wondering about my philosophy on that. That's what I think. Do a lot of 10-day projects. That's why I bought the roller, is that I can break it all down into 10-day, 2-week projects and get lots done and feel like I'm getting somewhere. Probably best not to ask how that's going. You don't want to know. Yeah, just let the clutch out and ease off on the accelerator and take off slowly. Because this whole, like, chucking monos on a 250cc bike, it's a 125 probably bike. It's not fun when you haven't got anything to hang on to except the handlebars. Anyway, don't ask me how I know that. We've all come off a Posty Bike, and I don't know why you even bought one, but we better pull the cowling off it and bring it home and give it a nice coat of lime neon green and put some gold pinstripes on it, some gold leaf to make it truly Indian in flavour. See, that's the trouble with bad influence. I don't know if anyone noticed, but Dan from Dan Shed is a very bad influence on people. And you end up with all these weird ideas that you didn't even have on the radar. And that becomes a problem. So don't associate with him, it'd be better. I think we could give it a coated, like a good, decent run over with some duct tape. I've got some duct tape. And I've got some... Here you go. This is the answer. Duct tape and this stuff. And give it all the sand back with 180 grit sandpaper and a couple of coats of primer, and you're ready to go. It's good. Durham's rock hard all-round champ. Looks like the man. I've never studied him much, but he's certainly... I think it's the socks that do it for me. It might be the belt. I don't know if he's wearing socks or he's wearing sweatbands on his ankles. It's a bit strange anyway. He's rock hard anyway. It's good stuff, but not so much on a Posty Bike. Yeah, rock hard he is. You can tell by his haircut. I reckon the haircut's airbrushed. I bet he hasn't got that much hair now. I reckon they took some artistic liberties with that. This is good stuff. It's very good on patterns. Stays put, won't shrink, and sticks. Net weight 4 pounds. 1,814 grams. Rocky says, Rocky dies. It's the I'll read this out because this is good stuff. It's the repair material in powder form. Just add water, mix and use Durham's to make lasting repairs in plaster, stone, tile or cement. Fill cracks, knot, nail or screw holes. It doesn't say anything about rust. Sticks and stays put. Will not shrink. You can saw, sand, polish, colour, mould or paint it. Great for art and craft projects. So that's what we're talking about. Posty Bike. It dries to a natural cream colour. You hardly need to paint it. Won't take surface stains. It can be coloured by mixing with a dry pigment, water-based stain or water-based paint. You put it in when you mix it. It's available in 25 and 50 pound containers as well, which is really important information if you're using a lot of it. And it's got directions. Indispensable to woodworkers. Probably good woodworkers don't need this. Electricians, also indispensable for electricians, so you must be able to put it in with a screwdriver. Sorry, Stuart. Carpenters. Repairmen. Housewives, indispensable for housewives. Pattern makers. Decorators. Floor finishers. Cabinet makers. Painters. Manufacturers and plumbers. They also mould strong figurines. I've never done that with it. Fills knot holes. Good stuff anyway. I think that probably at a pinch it'd be good for Posty Bikes. That's what I'm saying. I think that reading the label and the directions, we've reached the conclusion that it's good stuff at a Posty Bike. You probably put the duct tape on the back. Anyway. Now you're talking nonsense. Anyway, I think I'm about done. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I've already said that. Anyone else who's on here with a name that sounds like a YouTube channel, you should go and check them out. And even if their name isn't a YouTube channel, you should give them a subscribe. And then at least if they post something, I think someone's watching it. Did you name your youngest son Durham after the party, Randy? Inquiring minds want to know. Anyway. Good morning, good night. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, it's very fitting. Anyway, I'm done for here. Appreciate you guys a lot. Don't ever think that no one appreciates you, because we all do. and appreciate you tuning in. It's been fun, and I'm back at work tomorrow probably if I get there. And we'll catch you all on the flip side. Be kind to each other, and more soon, eh? I'm out.